Boker Tov, good morning. It is Tuesday. It's strange for me to be here, but I'm embracing the different day of the week, I guess, is what to say. And so I thought, what would it be? Um, Torah Tuesday. Makes sense. The wisdom for tomorrow might be something different, maybe connected to what it is today. But for today, we're here to talk Torah. And so I'm grateful that you have joined me. For those of you that have, and for those of you that will at another time, it's wonderful to be here with you. So this week's Parsha, this week's Torah portion, is Ki Tisa. Exodus, we're in the book of Exodus still, and here's a piece of text. But, he said, you cannot see my face, for man may not see me and live. And God said, see, there is a place near me. Station yourself on the rock, and as my presence passes by, I will put you in a cleft of the rock and shield you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will take my hand away, and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen. And so there's a lot of he's and things that maybe don't feel right to you or right to me, or maybe they do. But I'm going to share the text again and we're going to break it apart together. More like Torah Study Tuesday. Whatever. Here we are. But he said, you cannot see my face, for human may not see me and live. And God said, see, there's a place near me. Station yourself on a rock, and as my presence passes by, I will put you in a cleft of the rock and shield you with my hand until I have passed by. Then I will take my hand away, and you will see my back, but my face must not be seen. In the book of Exodus, we learn what holiness really is. The spiritual practice is about being holy, demonstrating and displaying the attributes of God in our own lives. What are the attributes of God? The 13 attributes of God, that Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum, that piece of text that we sing throughout the High Holy Days and even a little bit before, those are the attributes that we try to find of godliness in our own selves. A person claiming to be steeped with spiritual practice but doesn't manifest these attributes may need to readjust their lens. The attributes are, listen, we are not perfect, we're human, but the attributes are a guide for us. The guide for us to say, you know what, I may not be compassionate, I may not be this or that in every moment of life, but I know what the attributes are, and I strive to be that which is godlike. So if we take apart the verses that I opened with into little chunks, no one sees me and lives. God says, no one sees me and lives. Seeing meaning strictly visual. Our relationship or relation to God is that of which is like a candle to the sun. When alone in the dark, a single candle sheds a distinct light. Right? We've all been in a dark room. There's no light on. There's no light outside. The windows aren't letting in any light. And somebody lights a candle. That is distinct light. That is going to light up this dark room. But if we were to take that same candle in the light of day, walk outside, or even turn the lights on and put the candle on, we are going to notice that that light is eradicated by the greater light of the sun, the light that is existing in the world. When we stand in the shadow of self, we appear to be a light only unto ourselves. But when we step into the light of God, our individual light seems to have vanished. All of the shadow is removed, and the eye of our ego becomes our oneness with God. We don't need to stand out. We need to stand among. In the next line, there is a place next to me, God says. A place next to God. If we think about God as the old man in the chair with the beard with the staff, perhaps I could see a place next to God. All right, he's right there in the throne. Go right next to God. Is this place somewhere? There is a place next to me. Is this place somewhere that Moses can see? Or is it a manifestation of the divine presence? Perhaps it's on a spiritual level of awareness where Moses was just so connected, so aware as to see the world as God does. But next comes Moses' attempt to transliterate, to make it known in a common language, in a common feeling, in a common vibe of the experience of God into godly action by which we can engage. God descends in a cloud and shields Moses, and Moses proclaims, Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum v'Chanun, Erech Alpayim v'Rav Chesed v'Emet. God, God, a compassionate God, gracious, slow to anger, abounding in kindness and faithfulness, extending kindness to 1,000th generation, forgiving iniquity, transgression, and sin, yet does not remit all punishment, but visits the iniquity of parents on their children. Those attributes that I spoke of when we first opened were the attributes that said, hey, if we're having this spiritual practice that's part of our lives, we're trying to be more God-like, we're trying to do better in the world for ourselves and for the rest. We're not perfect. God is not perfect in my opinion, but everybody has their own opinion, as we know. Opinions are like blank. Everyone's got one. But these are the attributes, the compassion, the graciousness, the ability to stifle our anger, not stifle it in a way that is harmful to us, but to reduce it in a way where we can see more clearly, for kindness and faithfulness, for giving. Those are the attributes of God that we try to emulate. We're not going to be the same, but we have our own version of that. And so Moses cannot find the words for the most profound reflection of God. He simply says, indescribable, indescribable God. This reminds us that the essence of God cannot be reduced to language. The proclamation of the 13 attributes of God are revelations. They're manifestations of God and the presence of God in our life and our world. They are part of our liturgy, but they're not a prayer. Compassionate, gracious, patient, the godliness qualities of what it means to be holy. We learn in this book of Exodus a lot about holiness. Yet does not remit all. When we chant the 13 attributes of God, shalosh, can't spell, read, or speak. Shalosh, esrei midot. What are those 13 attributes talking about? We recite them, we sing them on Yom Kippur, and during Torah readings on Rosh Hashanah, on Pesach, on Shavuot, and Sukkot. We leave out the last section, yet does not remit all. The ancient rabbis were so uncomfortable with a God who visits the iniquities of one generation on another. You know, we always say like, oh, the ones that came before us left it like this. But the ancient rabbis didn't want to pin one on the other. But the Torah states, God recalls the sins, not that God punishes for them, but there's recollection of it. of them. The Torah reminds us of another important truth, that our actions have consequences beyond ourselves that spiritual practice cannot erase. We acknowledge the fact individually, and of course as a group, that spiritual practice alone does not wipe out the karmic aftermath of hurtful action. Especially not what one generation leaves on the next. Spiritual practice alone cannot heal the wrongs of society. I mean, if it could, we'd be the best practitioners there ever was or there would ever be. Meditation and prayer can't feed the hungry. Alone, it cannot do that. For you know what? If it could, there would be no one hungry in the world. Meditation and prayer cannot heal an abused child. Because if it could, there would be no pain and suffering in the world. Our spiritual work must support, not replace, the efforts on behalf of social justice, psychological well-being. Being holy requires us to be whole, a whole, on all levels, not just a spiritual one. There are these orbs that make us who we are. Spirituality, spiritual practice is one single thing. A part that makes, when placed with others, a whole. So let us, on this Torah Tuesday, let us find a way to renew and refresh, reflect on what those attributes mean to us. As we're reminded in Pirkei Avot, ethics of our fathers, but really ethics of our parents, that it's not incumbent upon us to complete the task, but we are not free to desist from it. Judaism views all humans, and it's hard to even say those words in this moment because there are so many humans that are not acting like humans in this moment of time. But Judaism does view all humans as team members. Team members that come together in the great search, research, and development of the continued project of creation. This project began long before we emerged and hopefully will continue long after we depart. Words by Goldie Milgram. How can we make a difference going forward? To love God, to connect, to oneness, to have some sort of spiritual practice that reminds us that the attributes of God are not to be God, but yet to find ways of holiness within our own lives. And so that is our holy work, the work that we must do together. We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you, and we will continue to do the work, to be forgiving, to be patient, to be compassionate, to be loving, to be all of the things that we know makes the world a better place. We will see you back here. I will see you back here tomorrow at 9:30. Rabbi Jay did great at his cataract surgery, and so we'll give him a few eye full rest days, and I'll be back here at 9:30. Let's make this a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining me, Eileen and Ariella, Elisa, whoever else is watching that didn't check in. We're grateful for this time together. Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum Vechanun, Erech Apayim Verav Chesed Ve'emet, Notzer Chesed La'alafim, Nosei Avon V'Fesha V'Chata'a V'Nakem. Adonai, Adonai. Am Yisrael Chai, Od Avinu Chai. Let us be the people that long live far beyond this moment.